What's your name and what's your biggest pet peeve?
My name is Jad, and my biggest pet peeve would have to be when people are just too loud in a public setting that is a little bit more quieter. I hate it.
Did that ever happen to you?
Yeah, it actually happened today at a Starbucks. There was like four girls, and they were just excessively loud for no reason. And it's just one of those moments where like everybody's kind of just like looking at them, and it's so awkward.
My name is Izza, and my biggest pet peeve is when friends only reach out to you to see how you're doing when they need a favor from you.
Did that ever happen to you recently?
I feel like it happens to me pretty frequently. So I would say yes, but I usually address it right away. When it comes to my friends, I feel like I'm always willing to help out my friends, but it just bothers me when they're only reaching out when they need something. So I feel like check in more and like be more active in like maintaining the friendship, not just when they need something from me.
I'm Tina Vu, and I'll actually say my biggest pet peeve is when people aren't on time to events, like if you're planning something, right? But then it's also a bad habit of mine. It's just seeing out other people reminds me of myself, and it's like, oh, I shouldn't be doing that either.
Did someone ever gotten really late to the point where you're like, nah?
I have such a story to tell y'all. So I scheduled like a tutoring session, right, for one of my classes, and it's supposed to be conducted online. So I'm sitting here in this waiting room past 30 minutes, and at this point, there's no communication from the person. So then I emailed them, just like so upset, because first of all, you wasted my time. I literally booked an appointment with you. And second of all, you have not talked to me about being late. So then when they ended up getting back to me, it was past 2 hours, and they tried to reschedule. I'm like, boy, no.
Hi, my name is Robert Adams, and my biggest pet peeve is being alone in a space where there's like absolutely no noise whatsoever, like where it's completely quiet and you like can hear a pin drop.
Where do you think that happens here?
Maybe in those big lecture halls, once people are out of class, you just like walk in there, there's like nobody there, and it's really quiet. Sometimes even outside, it's really eerie if there's nothing that's going on.
My name's Lily, and my biggest pet peeve is probably when people talk over me. Like sometimes when I'm trying to explain a story, I guess, and then someone else is also there, and then it's just like we're both talking about it.
My name is Izzy, and my biggest pet peeve are slow walkers. And it always happens whenever I'm trying to get somewhere.
What do you do?
I usually just speed walk aggressively around them. I have no sympathy for them at all.
My name is Jerry, and my biggest pet peeve would be people chewing with their mouth open.
Is there a loud chewer here?
I would say Lily's a pretty loud chewer.
My name's Karthik. My biggest pet peeve is arranged marriages.
Have you seen someone who did that?
Yeah, that's kind of like the thing where I'm from, like in India. Arranged marriages are just a pretty common thing. I think a lot of people don't really have the choice to pick who they want to be with for the rest of their lives. And I just hate people that kind of force those kinds of things on people.
My name's Ancho. My biggest pet peeve is when people take things and then they just don't tell you. And then like 2 weeks later, you found out that it's gone. One of my roommates does that sometimes. Just one of them. Sometimes like one of my lighters, she's gone from my room. Yeah, stuff like that.
I'm the roommate. I'm the fucking roommate.
Yeah.
My name is Nicole, and my biggest pet peeve is when people have bad breath.
When's the last time that you met someone like that?
Like a month ago, it was in New York City. Random person I met, terrible breath, immediately left.
My name's Avery. I hate when people are late to things.
How late do you think they can be before they really frustrates you?
If they text me that they're leaving, like right when we're supposed to meet.
When's the last time that it happened?
Probably like a couple weekends ago. My friend was late to a bar and I was just annoyed. But that was it. We just got over it and got drunk.
Perfect.
My name's Hannah, and my biggest pet peeve is when the dishwasher is dirty and people don't put their dirty dishes in the dishwasher and just leave them in the sink.
My name's Garrett Thorne, and my biggest pet peeve is when people use the laughing emoji with like the tears coming out the sides instead of like the tears going straight down the face. It just feels old. It feels like something I did when I was in middle school, probably when I was in 6th grade, but now everyone uses straight down, so like, why are you still doing that?
Then what's your favorite emoji?
I like just the heart emoji.
The red heart?
Yeah, just plain red heart. Sometimes even like the big heart and then the little heart below it, like the double heart.
My name's Rose, and my biggest pet peeve is when people lie about little things. They would say that they were going somewhere and then go to a different place, and it made me question why they didn't trust me to tell me the truth.
Do you lie about little things?
I try not to.
What's something that you lied about?
Maybe finishing my homework.
To who?
My parents.
I think the biggest pet peeve for me is that when we schedule a meeting and you say you are available at that time and we create a Zoom meeting and you didn't show up and I text you why you didn't show up. Is something wrong or can we meet in another meeting but you didn't reply it? So it is for our group project but you didn't show up. You do not want to communicate with me, so I will do it on my own.
My name is Steven, and my biggest pet peeve is people saying let's get coffee and they never act upon it.
When was the last time that it happened to you?
Yesterday.
With who?
A friend of mine who's an alum also came to visit and was just like, yeah, let's get coffee. I just nodded yeah, and I realized we'll never see each other again.
Well, you guys are good friends, though.
Of course, yeah. So maybe it'll happen, or not.
My name's Amelia, and my biggest pet peeve is people who walk really slow in front of me or people who don't get personal space when they walk behind me. I get so mad walking on campus all the time because people don't understand how to walk politely.
My name is Alina, and my biggest pet peeve is probably when things take too long to load. If I'm trying to open Canvas in class and my computer won't connect to the Wi-Fi or something like that.
I'm Philomela and I hate when people don't have good nails in their feet and their hands, chipped nails and long nails.
Do you care about how they're shaped?
Yeah, they need to be symmetric.
What about fat nails?
Yeah, I hate fat nails.
I'm Alex, and my biggest pet peeve is people chewing loudly.
Is she a loud chewer?
I'd say no, most times.
Why most times?
Well, it can't be every time. Nothing's 100%.
My name is Sophia, and my biggest pet peeve is people that go on the phone in the bathroom.
Is it okay if they're peeing and looking at their phone?
Yeah, that's fine, but when you're on a phone call in the bathroom, I hate that.
My name is Bridget, and my biggest pet peeve is probably when people are overly negative for no reason. I've been around people like that before, and it irks me.
What would they say?
If the weather is bad, then the entire day is ruined.
What about people saying, oh, it's snowing, oh, it's so cold, I hate Michigan, stuff like that?
Hey, you chose to be here. You got to accept it, I think.
My name is Isabella, and my biggest pet peeve is general selfishness. When people just really don't care about other people.
What about selfish is my selflessness kind of thing? What do you think about that?
I think it's fine to put yourself first, but I think compassionate is the most important thing, and still being compassionate towards others.
My name is Ethan, and my biggest pet peeve is when people gossip or talk about someone behind their back.
When was the last time that it happened?
Probably last night.
Do you talk behind people's back?
I try to avoid it whenever possible, but I like listening to it, but also I don't like it. It's like a love-hate relationship.
My name is Matthew, and my biggest pet peeve is when people don't wash their hands in public restrooms.
Do you wash your hands?
Always.
Always.
My name is Haley, and my biggest pet peeve is slow walkers.
What do you do when you see them?
I get annoyed and pass them, try to be dramatic about it so they feel bad.
Do you have anything to say to them?
Walk faster.
My name's Mahi, and my biggest pet peeve is people that flake on plans at the last second.
When was the last time that it happened to you?
Honestly, not super recently, but I think a few days ago I was going to get dinner with a friend, and at the last second they flaked, so...
If that happens, do you still be friends with them?
Yeah, I mean, usually it's not that big of a deal. It depends how close you are with them, but if it's something that people do every single time, then it's different.
Hi, my name is Lily, and my biggest pet peeve is people leaving garbage when they leave a common space or a table or something. Just pick it up when you're leaving.
Where did you see that?
Sometimes I see it in the Ross Winter Garden. Sometimes I see it in my house. But I'll text my friends stop leaving garbage in the living room. But everyone's pretty nice about it, so people just forget, that's all.
Hi, my name is Selma, and my biggest pet peeve is definitely the cold buildings on campus. Every building is freezing.
What temperature would be an ideal temperature for the building?
72 degrees, I feel like. Very specific.
I'm Sophia, and I would say my biggest pet peeve, especially about going here, would probably be the amount of people that don't like to listen or that aren't open to new opinions. Because sometimes it's hard to work with other people when they don't listen to what you're trying to say. And I've noticed that in a couple of classes, especially me being a woman. I just took a CS course this semester, and people tend to just overlook you if they think that you don't fit the demographic that tends to do well in the class, when in reality, you might be giving a different perspective that might be correct and something you didn't think about.
My name is Ellie Noah, and my biggest pet peeve is loud chewing.
Is there a loud chewer around you?
Not at the current moment.
What do you do when you see one?
I leave the table.
My name's Marla, and my biggest pet peeve is when people eat with their mouth open.
My name is Stefan, and my biggest pet peeve is people who drive recklessly and cut in front of you.
How do you react when you see them?
I mean, I react normal because I try and be a safe driver.
My name is Justin, and my biggest pet peeve is probably when you're talking during a movie.
When was the last time that it happened to you?
Like 3 weeks ago.
What movie were you watching?
Probably something on HBO.
It wasn't a movie theater though.
No.
What about people eating?
If I don't hear it, it's fine, but like if I visually see it, it could be a problem.
My name is Kylie Liang. My biggest pet peeve sometimes is slow walkers.
Where do you see slow walkers the most?
Just everywhere on the streets, like when I'm in a rush to get to class. But sometimes I'm also a slow walker, not in a rush.
Do you have anything to say to them?
Well, no, because sometimes I'm that person. I understand, but sometimes it's inconvenient.
My name is Taylor, and my biggest pet peeve is slow drivers.
Do you think going at the speed limit is a slow drive?
Yes, because I'm from Michigan, and everybody speeds in Michigan.
If it's at 70 miles per hour, how fast do you think it's good for them to drive?
About 80.
How fast do you drive?
80 at least, sometimes 85.
Have you ever gotten in a car accident?
No.
How long have you been driving?
3 years?
My name is Marco, and my biggest pet peeve is when people drive really, really slow and they don't use their blinkers.
If it's at 70 miles per hour, how fast do you think people should drive?
I think 70 is the minimum you should drive. I usually drive 5 above, but like if you're going 70 and a 70, I wouldn't be mad.
My name is Thage, and I'd say my biggest pet peeve is when someone gives you their computer and there's crumbs all over the keyboard or like anything sticky or anything like that. It just really turns me off.
When was the last time that it happened to you?
I'd say my roommate a couple days ago was looking at some of his code and keyboard was just gross. I didn't even want to look at it.
My name's Grace, and my biggest pet peeve is very slow walkers on campus or in like the hallways of a class building or something like that.
Do you have anything to say to them?
We've got places to be. You got to walk a little faster.
My name is Will, and my biggest pet peeve is when people ask me how tall I am.
How tall are you?
I say I'm 5'3".
Would you mind standing up?
Yeah, I can stand up.
Let me check.
Probably closer to like 5'2".
Then what would be an ideal height that you want to have?
At least 5'6". I think 5'6", I'd be like content.
Do you think you're still growing?
No.
How old are you?
I'm 21, almost 22.
You still have time.
Hi, my name's Dora, and I think my biggest pet peeve is when people don't admit that they don't know what they're talking about and just continue to talk out of their ass.
When was the last time that happened to you?
Today, actually. I heard a lot of people talk out of their asses. Everyone just does all the time.
Hi, my name's Alex, and my biggest pet peeve is really slow walkers.
Where do you see them usually?
When they're in big groups and they take up the whole sidewalk, around the diag, especially.
Do you have anything to say to them?
Walk faster, please.
I'm James, and my biggest pet peeve is when like people like correct your grammar when it's very clear what you meant.
When was the last time that it happened to you?
Not in a long time. I think people realized to stop trying me, so it hasn't happened in a while.
Do you recall exactly what they corrected you?
I feel like it happens frequently, like over text a lot. When you say like fucking and everyone's like ducking, they're like, what do you mean? Like, it's very clear, you know?
My name is Reno, and my biggest pet peeve is when people call me without texting first.
Why is that?
I need to mentally prepare myself and look good on camera.
Oh, you mean FaceTime?
Yeah, or even calling. Like, I need to allocate time for it in my mind.
Hi, I'm Chloe, and my biggest pet peeve would be fake people.
What would they do usually?
Specifically with girls talking to me, they'd be like, oh my god, hi, how are you? And then it would be like the fake, oh my god, wow, we're best friends. And like, we're really not best friends, and we're really not that close, but they would act like they are. It just gives you the ick.
My name is Adi, and my biggest pet peeve is when people compare me to like friendships and relationships that they've had in the past. My friend came from MSU and he like hung out with me, and then we went to Taco Bell to eat, and then he was just like, oh my gosh, I've never like went somewhere with someone in like college in like such a long time, and it just shows that I'm really close to you. Although that's really nice, I think that you shouldn't use me as like a baseline for how well your college experience is going. Other things can bring you value in life, and there shouldn't be a benchmark or anything like that.
My name is Josh. My biggest pet peeve is when I get stuck behind people on the street who are either walking really slow or being really loud or being in one way or another obnoxious.
Do you have anything to say to them?
No, just do better, I guess.
My name is Michael, and my biggest pet peeve would be when people think they're right, even though they're in the wrong, and they can't admit that they're wrong, even though everyone tells them they're wrong. There's like so many times where this happened, but like mostly when their opinions about someone, they just think something about someone when it's not the case, and everyone tells them it's not the case, but they're just fully believing it, even though it's not accurate, and it just causes a lot of drama within friend groups and stuff.
My name is Jess, and my biggest pet peeve is probably people who walk super slowly and aren't aware of their surroundings. When you're trying to get somewhere and you're in a rush and people are just stopping in the middle of the sidewalk and just blocking your path.
Do you have anything to say to those people?
Just try to be aware of the people around you. Just try to be considerate of other people, especially in the bad weather right now.
Hi, my name is Noah, and my biggest pet peeve is incessant apologizing.
Have you seen someone like that recently?
Actually, no. People have been pretty good recently.
Hi, my name is Julia, and I think my biggest pet peeve is when people just talk in circles. You attend a lot of meetings, and sometimes they could have been emails. So I think that's my biggest pet peeve.
Can you pick one example where you've seen that?
There's like a certain institute on campus that I work with, and I had many 3-hour meetings that could have been emails. And they were 3 hours long.
Hello, my name is Ella, and I don't really have a biggest pet peeve. Can't really think of anything, so yeah.
Why don't you have any pet peeves?
Because I think everyone is their own person, and I think that like I can be just as annoying as anyone else. So I don't know if I have the room to judge anyone else on what they do.
My name is Rohan Patel, and my biggest pet peeve is when you're having a conversation with somebody and they can't pick up on like social cues throughout the conversation. Like you make it a point and they can't find it. I was just having a conversation with somebody I'm like not too friends with, but like they came up and talked to me, and like I was like trying to work, but then they like didn't really pick up on that, and they just kept adding a new conversation to it, and I was like not showing interest, you know.
My name is Jarek, and I'd say my biggest pet peeve is just watching people overspend and not keep a budget.
When was the last time that you've seen that kind of person?
Probably last night. People get a little drunk, a little too out of it, and they end up spending more money than they should.
How much did they spend, and what did they spend on?
It was $1,600, and it was for this decoration to hang on a wall. I believe it was a tapestry.
Do you think they could have been wealthy to afford that?
It is possible. The Michigan demographics certainly point that there's a large percentage of wealthy families, so it is possible that he could have afforded it, but at the same time he was impaired, so I'm not sure what direction is without more context.
My name is Asiya Rahman, and my pet peeve is changing your personality or preferences based on the group you are in. So being in a group of people that likes pineapple on pizza and you say, oh, I like pineapple on pizza. But being in a group of people that don't like pineapple on pizza, you change your preference to, I don't like pineapple on pizza.
My name is Lucas. My biggest pet peeve might be when people start gossip and like stir the pot and like create drama over something that's not true or something that they don't actually know, and then just creates this whole drama that is just like unnecessary, and then you have to like fight it because people just love gossiping, I guess. But I also love gossiping, so it's not like I blame them, but I try to like fact check before gossiping, I guess.
I'm Anna, and my biggest pet peeve is when people don't follow through with plans they made. If one of your friends is like, do you want to hang out? And then they're like, I can't do that time anymore. But I'm like, you literally asked if I wanted to hang out and gave me a time.
I'm Isabel, and my biggest pet peeve is loud chewing.
What would you do if you see that kind of person?
I would probably just ignore them, but I would deep down get a little annoyed.
Do you have anything to say to them?
Stop chewing so loud. Just chill out.
My name's Tegan, and my biggest pet peeve is when people walk really slow or take up the entire sidewalk in a group when they could move over to half of it.
Do you have anything to say to them?
Not really. More just like be aware of other people, like you're no better than the rest of us.
My name is Buffon, and my biggest pet peeve is when people think like Pancheros or Qdoba is better than Chipotle. I'm personally a big fan of Chipotle. It's just a lot more flavorful.
Is there something you want people to know about Chipotle?
I don't know if it's like that Panch and Qdoba, but you can get like double everything other than like chicken, guac, and cheese for free. So I get double beans, double rice, and it fills me up.
I'm Sonali, and my biggest pet peeve is when people have their phones on the table and you can like feel them buzz. I don't like the fact that like I can feel it because it's distracting, and also like I don't know if it's like my phone or like whose it is.
My name is Hemo. Once I was at Notai and I saw, you know how they give those numbers when you place an order? I was waiting for my order and I saw one of the other girls. She took that card and she was rubbing it on her boyfriend's leg through the hair. I found it really annoying and I hated it. The number was 25, by the way. I sanitized it. I did, yeah.
Pet peeve.
My name is Gabe. You can also call me Noel. My biggest pet peeve is when my clothes shrink in the dryer washer without me intending on it to shrink.
Then how do you wash your clothes these days?
Cold water, cold setting, and then I hang dry them.
My name is Leo Greenleaf, and my biggest pet peeve is when you're walking on the street and people in front of you are looking up, looking at whatever, and blocking the street and not cognizant of people in front of them or behind them, because it just shows that you're not being like conscious of the people around you. And it's a pretty easy thing you can do to just look around and see where people are.
I'm Bobby. My pet peeve is when my roommates don't clean my dishes.
But you're not making him do your dishes.
No, just the dishes. Yeah. Communal dishes. No, they did my dishes. Though.
I'm Carly. I would say just being late consistently.
How late do you think they can be without making you really frustrated?
I think 10, 15 minutes after, but I'm always 10 or 15 ahead, so kind of adds some time of waiting.